Hello, my bees. Today I look extremely tired and I definitely need a full glam moment because I'm going out with my girls. So I decided to do a mauve smoky eyes look. For this kind of makeup, I need a really hydrating base, so I'm starting with the Elixir Primer from MUP. On top of that, I'm using a high coverage foundation, also from MUP. I'm mixing two shades to match my skin tone perfectly. I really like this foundation because it gives very high coverage, it hides imperfections, and it lasts really well on my oily skin. Lately, I only wear it for events because the texture is quite thick, so I always prefer applying it with a damp sponge for a more natural finish. For my under eyes, I'm using my favorite concealer from House Labs. In my 20s, I was always looking for the fullest coverage possible, but things have changed now in my 30s. And I love this one because it gives medium to high coverage, but it's also hydrating. It doesn't crease into the fine lines, and it still holds up really well on oily skin. I'm also applying it on my eyelids to create a smooth base. Then I set everything with a matte eyeshadow that's very close to my skin tone. To add some dimension, I'm using a bronzer in the crease. I'll also use this later on my face. For the eyes, I'm using this palette from Atelier Paris. I have several palettes from this brand and I really love them because all of the shades are designed to work perfectly together. You can mix any of them and you'll always get a harmonious look. And if you have green or brown eyes, these tones will look amazing on you. I'm applying this middle shade all over the lid and the mobile lid. And then I go back with the blending brush I used for the bronzer earlier to soften the edges. Just heads up, this is not a quick makeup look. The secret of a good smoky eye is blending. No harsh lines, everything should melt into each other. Now, I'm taking a deeper shade and applying it close to the lash line with a flat brush, then blending the edges again. Same steps, apply, then blend. Next, I'm going in with the darkest shade in the palette using a smaller detail brush. I place it right at the base of the lashes and softly drag it outwards towards the temples. I also apply it on the lower lash line and blend it using small back and forth motions. This helps diffuse the product evenly. Now I concentrate the darkest shade only on the outer corner of the eye from the middle outward. Then I blend again using the brush I used for the lighter shade. After that, I go back with the bronzer brush to soften everything in the crease. I clean up and brighten up the area with a tiny bit of concealer. On the waterline, I apply a black pencil to intensify the look. Then I'm using this amazing brush from Marca Beauty, which I truly recommend. I apply a black eyeshadow from Makeup by Mario palette right at the lash line, top and bottom, okay? Very close to the lash line, as close as possible. Now I set all the creams with this powder, or better said, with this filter. This Huda Beauty powder is incredible. I use the shade Breadcrumbs, I think, but I wouldn't recommend it if you have dry skin. I refresh my skin using this setting spray from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Then I warm up the face using my favorite bronzer. It's not a very well-known brand, but I really love their products. I absolutely love these blush trios from Anastasia Beverly Hills. They are so useful, especially for makeup artists, because you can mix the shades and create the exact color you want. The texture is smooth, almost creamy. I don't know how to describe it properly, but they blend beautifully. They melt on the skin. For the lips, I'm using Dusty Rose lip liner from Anastasia Beverly Hills. And in the center, I'm applying a mini lipstick in the shade Pure Hollywood. Look how cute it is. I actually bought these minis just to test the shades, but honestly, they're coming back into my kit for sure. They're so small, practical, and perfect for travel. And this is the final look. I'm ready to run out and meet my girls. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope this tutorial will help you and inspire you to create similar looks. Bye!